good morning and welcome to CityLine. It is great to be in your home. Today is Thursday, May 18th, and we are live every Thursday morning. And happy Mount St. Helens Day. Yep, 43 years ago today, Mount St. Helens blew their top. So maybe a walk down memory lane of where were you and what were you doing during that time. And we'll be asking those questions later on. Speaking of that, Chris Sieg is here to talk about Jobs 253 for the summer. As we continue to enjoy this beautiful weather we've been having, everybody is like, is this summer yet? And I'm like, if it's summer, that means you've got to be looking for a job. So Chris is here to tell us how that can happen. And the Northwest Sinfonietta is here along with Tacoma Urban Performing Arts Center, TUPAC. And they have a beautiful collaboration that we're going to hear about. Martha Davis is here, Toy Rescue Mission. They have some new news that they're excited to share. And then with me now are two individuals who are here to talk about the Northwest Room at Tacoma Public Library. So please join me in welcoming Anna Trammell. You are the Archive and Special Collections Manager at the Northwest Room. Welcome back.
I'm really glad to be here.
And you brought with you this man who we all have been saying what a nice head you have, beautiful bald head. Spencer Bowman, you are also with the Northwest Room and you are their librarian. Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, you've got some really fun things on this table, and I have to say, this reminds me of my childhood, looking at pictures, you know, with magnifying glasses and viewfinders. But before we get into that, Anna, what is the Northwest Room if people don't know?
So the Northwest Room at Tacoma Public Library is located in the original 1904 Carnegie Library building in downtown Tacoma. And our job is to preserve and provide access to unique, one-of-a-kind local content that helps tell the story about the people and places and built environment of Tacoma and the South Sound region. And this can include things like newspapers and photographs and business records and architectural drawings. And you know, we're really excited about what's happening in the Northwest Room right now because we're working to make sure that our collections are accessible to everyone. And we're doing this by making our collections easier to navigate and locate online, but we're also taking our collections outside of the four walls of the library.
Yes.
So we're going to community events with pop-up exhibits. We're partnering with Tacoma Public Schools to integrate local history into the classroom. And we're also working to make sure that our collections are inclusive and relevant.
Yeah, relevant also to, and what you're saying is relevant today to the culture that we have in Tacoma, right, be it Asian Pacific Islander, be it Indigenous Puyallup tribe, be it Black Lives Matter. That's all those things that we look at now and go, what does the history tell us about this? So Spencer, what kind of questions? Because I can imagine, I mean, if you had me in there, you'd be like, please be quiet. Stop asking me all these questions. So what kinds of questions do you help people answer?
All sorts of questions. We get contemporary questions about what's going on now, historic questions about people, places. A large portion are genealogy, family history questions. That's really important and powerful. People to learn who they are, where they came from. A lot of building and house histories. People have moved here, live in, just bought a new house and want to know the history of the house, the neighborhood. We have unique resources to help them find those kinds of answers.
I was one of those people 30 years ago that moved here and found my house on a register where they had had this big luncheon in the front yard. And I was like, wow, I hope you're not expecting me to carry on that tradition, because that's not going to happen. And the Northwest Room has launched, as you mentioned, a new way for public to access and interact with the local history collections. Tell me more about that, because we are in the age of lowering barriers for everything.
So we just launched a database this past year. It's called Northwest ORCA, which stands for Online Records and Collections Access.
Smart.
And Spencer coined that acronym. So this is a totally new way for the public to discover and interact with our collections. So you can access this online database anytime. You can search by keyword, you can browse by subject or place. And what you're going to see here is descriptions of our vast physical collections, in addition to any of the content that we've digitized and made available online. So this can include video, audio, textual documents, and thousands of photographs.
Wow.
So all of this is now available to the public, and we're adding new content just about every week. And most of this material nobody has ever had access to before. So there's just so many local stories that are just waiting to be discovered here.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm thinking about railroad, I'm thinking about shipping, I'm thinking about Lewis and Clark trails, I'm thinking about, just Weyerhaeuser, all these things that help us understand how far we have come in those areas, but also what we have tried and what didn't work. So that helps us understand where we're going. Spencer, you brought with you some toys today.
Yeah.
Tell me about what these are.
So the first thing I wanted to show and share are these slides. So these are all were taken by the Richard Studio, which was a Tacoma photo studio where people would go to get their wedding photos done, portraits or business photos. And this was a really neat short-run technology they used in the 50s to the not long after, maybe early 60s. What it is a 3D Kodachrome slides, and there's a special viewer here. And when you look through that, you get these slides from this Fitzpatrick and McIntyre a construction company. So these were for
wow.
Promotional, yeah. That's something else.
Okay, there's some really great furniture in this 1950s picture. I'm like, my goodness, I hope that furniture is still around. And there's also a view out the window of, looks like Mount Rainier. Oh my, these are, I want to step into this.
Yeah, it's pretty unique for our collection too. So so there's a few of these we have digitized in ORCA right now of weddings and all sorts of other things. So you can visit those and see those by just typing in Richard's 3D slides.
All right, so Anna, on this table, what's your favorite? Oh, she's getting out the white gloves.
Getting out the white gloves.
Yay.
I'm going to look like a mime here.
Yeah.
So it is the 40th anniversary of the opening of the Tacoma Dome this year. It opened in 1983. And
were you born then?
I was not born then,
was.
actually, and I was not here in Tacoma.
That's all right.
But this is such an iconic building for Tacoma.
Oh,
so it,
yes.
of course, appears across our collection. But, people had a lot of different ideas about what the dome was going to be and what it was going to look like. And you'll see here in this collection, we've brought some initial kind of concept art for the dome. And when the dome was being constructed, we had a mayor, Mayor Mike Parker, and he was very ambitious. He was Tacoma's youngest mayor. And he was really inspired by Seattle having the World's Fair about 20 years prior.
Okay.
And he wanted something like that for Tacoma, an international event. And so you can see in some of these plans that the development of the dome was really designed to be a much larger project.
Yes.
So here you can see the dome, but look at these the fairgrounds and the rides and the hotels that were going to be included. And as part of this, Mayor Parker wanted Tacoma to have its own Space Needle, just like Seattle. And of course, the Seattle newspapers found out about this and mercilessly made fun of him and made fun of Tacoma. Of course, the Space Needle never happened in Tacoma, but we have the Tacoma Dome, and we're really excited to be celebrating its 40th birthday.
Look who's laughing now, okay? 40th, I remember, oh gosh, you've brought up such memories for me. I remember when we even entertained having a Warhol daisy over the Tacoma Dome, but that just kind of didn't work out for environmental, financial reasons, but yeah. And I also remember when they imploded the other dome in Seattle. So domes kind of mark history, don't they?
Right. And we were recently at a celebration, a T-Town event that took place in the dome a few weeks ago. And we were recording people's memories there about what is your Tacoma Dome memory? What does Tacoma mean to you? Tell us your story.
Oh my
So in
gosh.
addition to preserving things like this, we're also documenting people's stories right now.
That you're going to digitize. There
Yeah.
we go. Spencer, the last item you brought with you looks like a scrapbook. And like I said, when I see those in antique stores, I cringe and think, how did that get out of a family? What is your scrapbook?
Well, this one's pretty incredible. So this is a scrapbook from the Tacoma Mountaineers
Oh, yes.
organization, kind of auxiliary organization. So the Mountaineers were founded in 1909 in Washington State, and then Tacoma started theirs in 1912. And this is a photo album of pictures from 1912, so right when they started.
Oh my gosh.
And this is also on Orca, so you can find this online and take a closer look.
There we go.
But, oh yeah, here we go. So yeah, what we see is we can see them climbing glaciers, having gatherings, flora and fauna pictures. And one of the real incredible parts about this collection is to see how influential women were in developing this organization in Tacoma. And they're still going strong. Their headquarters is in Old Tacoma neighborhood. So
I love that. So, and mention again, what year was this from, this scrapbook?
1912.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, talking about COVID, there it was, 1912. Anna, how can our viewers learn more about these local historical collections and give us the website again one more time?
So you can visit the Northwest Room's website at tacomalibrary.org/Northwest Room, and here you'll be able to gain access to our collections, browse what we have made available digitally. You can also schedule an appointment to come in to view these materials in person. So of course, not all of our collections are available online, and currently we're only open by appointment right now because we have some pretty exciting renovations that are happening in our building. So we're looking forward to fully reopening next year. You can also access our research guides from this address, so you can start exploring our collections and learn how to get started. And you're welcome to contact us anytime with your local history questions.
Oh my gosh, I can just see a big grand reopening happening with characters dressed as certain things.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you both so much for being here today, and thank you additionally for caring so much about our history. I'm a firm believer, as my grandmother used to always say, that if you forget the past, you're doomed to repeat it. So thank you for making us aware of how far we've come and how far we have to go.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Tacoma Toy Rescue Mission will be in the house after we play a little bit of musical chairs. You don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.